Hard cast ammo test and full-size guns, long slide pistols versus 4-inch revolvers. You know, we got about a 5-inch pistol here in both of these and about a 4-inch revolver in both of these. That equates to about the same amount of bullet travel in those guns and makes the guns about the same size. So what we got here is our 9mm, our 10mm, our 38 plus P, our 357 Magnum, and our 44 Magnum. So we have our 9mm plus P outdoorsman. I'm really curious about this round because I think it could potentially do well. 147 grain. And then we have our 220 grain 10mm. Both these are Buffalo Bore, 38 Special, 158 grain plus P, Underwood and Underwood 357 Magnum, 180 grain flat nose hard cast, and a 255 grain 44 Magnum hard cast. So I'm really curious about what these are going to do, and this is going to kind of be like a big dangerous game simulation ballistic test. I'll show you here in a minute. But we're going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time, and then here is our ballistic test. So what I got here is I did a thick layer of carpet because that's kind of like animal hide. You know, that rough stuff on the back is pretty thick, very furry. We got 6 inches of clear ballistics. We have a 1/2 inch medium density fiberboard. You know, typically I use 3 inches and then a 1/4 inch, so we're doubling all that up to indicate something twice as thick and strong and whatever as a human. And then we have all this clear ballistics, and I have this little stopper here, possibly stop some rounds from over penetrating if they get that far, which I'm not sure they will because that's pretty hard stuff there. And then I think I'm going to shoot from 25 yards, just do a couple double taps just to kind of see, you know, is that doable? You know, because that full-size steel silhouette is about the size of the area that might represent like a big head of some big dangerous carnivore. So I'll do a couple double taps from 25 yards because I probably would not want it any closer than that. So let's get started with this test. All right, I'm going to run a couple rounds to the chronograph each. And first up, I have my 38 Special Underwood. I love this round. This is the round I like to pull out when people start laughing at me saying 38 Special is like a cap gun. Well, let's see how much like a cap gun this one is. 158 grain. 1131, 1116. Pretty powerful for a 158 grain 38 Special. Next two are going to be our 180 grain 357 Magnum. 1210, 1190. Let's move on to something else. Next up, we have our 9mm with that 147 grain hard cast. Being a Buffalo Bore and being a 5-inch pistol, I'm really curious about what this will give us. It might be pretty good velocity. So let's see what we get. 1096. 1092. Pretty nice. Let's try something else. 10mm 220 grain Buffalo Bore. This might jam because it's a conversion. But we're testing the ammo, not the gun. 1179. Mag drop. 1179. Did not touch the mag release. The mag fell out. And that's one thing about Glock perfection. I hate how they make these ledges out of plastic. All right, next up we have our 44 Magnum. It's the heaviest bullet, 255 grain. 1239. 1279. And of course that one had brutal recoil. Let's hit our ballistics gel block with all these rounds and kind of see how they compare to each other. All right, I'm going to start out with our 38 Special. I'm just going to go center of that block. See what we get with our 38 Special hard cast. All right, so the way this is set up here, we're off by about 1 inch of penetration, so I have to basically add 1 inch to whatever we're seeing here. So we went right through everything here, and we went to, well, this would be about 36 inches, so that would be about 37 inches that went to. That's pretty good. Let's try something else. All right, right onto the 357 Magnum 180 grain. A little bit more momentum there with that weight, so see what this will do. And not only did it hit this, but it went all the way through the back of this stop here. So that was not very effective at stopping a bullet. I thought if it got kind of close to the edge, it would lose most of its momentum and that might stop it, but it did not. Let's move on to something else, because we got well over like 40 inches there. Let's try something else. All right, 220 grain 10 millimeter. Let's see how this will do. And again, this did the exact same thing here. And I'm getting the build up here of this MDF, but they're just punching right through this. And it punched right through this backer, no problem. So let's move on to something else. All right, let's try our 44 mag. I'm really curious about that 9 millimeter, so I'm saving it for last. 44 mag. Wow. So our 44 mag, this is weird. Actually, it looks like it dropped off its gas check there. And this actually stopped it the way I intended it to. It's cracked out the back of this wood and that bullet's right there. It is nose first. So even though that was the heaviest, had probably the most energy, it didn't make it the furthest. Interesting. Now let's try that 9 millimeter. All right, 9 millimeter. Let's see what this will do. It feels like a cap gun after shooting the rest of those. So little recoil. And that is really interesting. I was not expecting that. Typically 9 millimeter is a good penetrator, but it's kind of out of its league here. You know, even the 38 special got about 38, 37 inches, and this got about, we're gonna add an inch to that, about 20.5 inches is all that got. So even though it's a good penetrator, you know, I'm not sure I would include a hard cast into like a dangerous game protection type caliber. That's, you know, not very impressive. So let's shoot from that 25 yards, a couple of double taps with all these and just kind of see what we get. All right, so I'm not going to measure these like normal, so I thought I'd just pull them out here. Here's our 9 millimeter. Not really any change to that bullet, a little bit of deformation. Our 38 special has most of its deformation based on its rifling connecting on it, but it is flattened a lot more. And our 44 Magnum, this is the gas check it lost, and about the same as the 38 special, similar bullet design. So pretty interesting there that we caught those three. All right, 25 yards. I'm just gonna see if I can place one shot accurately, and then I'm gonna do some double taps. So just to kind of see how accurate this is, I'm gonna go for a headshot with this. All right, I'm gonna try to do some double taps. So relatively easy to shoot, not necessarily perfectly accurate, but I'm just getting a quick sight picture. Let's try something else. All right, I only have one round of 10 millimeter left, and it wouldn't be a fair test to include this in this type of test anyway, so just gonna see if I can get a headshot with this. All right, let's move on to something else. Wow, that's weird. All right, 44 mag. This one's gonna be kind of ridiculous. I got 3 rounds left. Let me go for a headshot first, see if I can hit it. Nope. Let me do a double tap if I can with the body. Well, it's doable. Let me try something else. 357 mag, same drill, try for a headshot, and then a double tap. Nope. Well, just didn't shoot very well for me. Now I'm gonna move on to the 38 special. It's the one I have the most of, and really kind of the most surprising in a way. It just seemed to shoot really well for what it is. Let me try a headshot. Double tap. Again. Just that one. Not so great. But that's just more on my skill level than what it is on the ammo. So let me bring it down to where I think I can hit the last 3 of these and see what I can do. Again, kind of a misfire there. Right again. Alright, so what I'm seeing here, I was kind of surprised by the 9mm. I'll get that out of the way. I thought it would penetrate more because 9mm is known to penetrate really well. However, hitting that 1/2" MDF seemed to really slow it down a lot to where it really couldn't overcome that. So I'm going to put that out of, out of commission here for truly a big dangerous game of protection. 10mm did excellent. 357 mag did excellent. 44 mag was kind of surprising because it did not penetrate all the way through. I say it did pretty well. People are going to hate me for this. I think the most rounded round here for in this is going to be 38, that 38 special, not 38 special in general, but that one, because it had about similar recoil to that 9mm. Granted, it's a heavier gun, but in this gun, really similar recoil to that 9mm, just a hair more. Yet it penetrated significantly deeper. The other rounds did really well, but they had significant recoil. The 357, honestly, even though I said the 38 is probably the best, that's probably the best because it had the perfect medium of controllability of shooting it and the highest penetration. So on my scale here of what I'm seeing, the 357 did the best, lowest recoil and most penetration. The 10mm, the 44 mag, they did good, but you're really paying for that in recoil. The 9mm didn't do good. The 38 special is on the same level as that 357 mag, except just not as much penetration. So I would say 357, 38 as far as our scale here for shootability and penetration, then 10mm, then 44 mag, and the 9mm is kind of out of the running there. So that's just my take on the whole ballistic test with this. So I think really it's the right bullet, the right power level is what you're looking for in a dangerous game protection round. So that's what you get today. A little opinion mixed in there, but that's what you get. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.